Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning. Sawubona. Unjani tu. Sibonisa Mkhize, our right-hand man here in studio, our sound engineer, technician, and already, folks, if you had to see the studio, it is a hubbub, a flurry of activity over here on Brother Sibonisu's side, because, of course, he's got the Lakeside event happening as well. And, we're broadcasting from there, which is in Johannesburg. And as you know, I've been broadcasting from Portugal, and it has been a month since I have spoken to you all here from good old it's not eThekwini. Is it eThekwini? eThekwini. From Devon, KZN, KwaZulu Natal. So how has everybody been? Let me know how you've been. 060-904-1056 is our WhatsApp number, as you know. And you can catch us on the socials on Radio Al Ansar, and you can catch it on my TikTok as well, Lifecoach Rabia. As you know, lifecoach.rabia is my handle on all of social medias, and you can find me there. But now, Sibonisa, I was thinking on this trip, let me tell you, in Portugal, Madrid, Spain, so Portugal and Spain, what I found is that everybody grows a little something. And yet there is, so here's what's happening. The medical profession, allopathic remedies, right? That is medical doctors. They really, 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 really push against the natural healing stuff. We are so fortunate here in South Africa that we have access to supplements. I mean, you can go online, you can go to Takealot, you can go to the corner store, and you're bound to find some sort of natural health medication. The regulations are there. Yes, there is regulations for natural supplements, but it is just not the same in Europe. And I was talking to a lady from Italy in Madrid. I was in Madrid talking to this lady from Italy. And she was saying how, the old stuff is dying. I was talking to her about castor oil because guess what? I was building a shoe rack with my sister, and I was using these metal rods, right? And they are coarse on the end. And this thing went right into my nail and gouged a great big hole out of my actual nail, lifting the nail. Yes, I know. Cringe, but this is what happened. And my mom said, oh, we have to rush you off to the doctor. And I was like, no, we don't. We've got castor oil, because everywhere I go, I carry castor oil. And Stru's Bob, castor oil was in my suitcase because it must be there. And so I took some cotton wool, washed it, ran it underwater. Obviously, I have had a tetanus shot previously within the last 5 years, so that's handled. And then I just took some cotton wool with some castor oil, slapped it on the finger, bound it in place overnight. And I did that for 3 days. And hey, presto, all is good, all is well that ends well. So I was talking to this lady, and she was saying how it's all about the doctors, what the doctors want. And you tell a doctor that, lion's mane will be great for somebody who's had a stroke. It helps to rebuild those neural pathways. I've seen success with my clients, and they will look at you like, what rock did you crawl out from? Or which planet did you beam down from? What is wrong with you? And I say, folks, have you not heard of blue methylene? So I go online, I try to find blue methylene for my mother. Blue methylene, also great for memory, wonderful thing. It works on the mitochondria of the cells. It has all these incredible benefits. If you're on heavy antidepressants, watch out, check with your medical doctors, because we don't throw the baby out with the bath water in complementary health. But man alive, in Europe, are they so kind of conscious about medical only, high ball. So yeah, anyway, another thing that I got to thinking was everybody grows something. And here we're on this show, and I know that there are listeners of mine overseas, all over the world. They contact me. You folks contact me from all over the world. You find me on socials. You tell me you've heard this show. I'm so grateful, subhanAllah, for each and every single one of you that reach out. You reach out via WhatsApp. You find me on TikTok. You find me on Instagram. You find me on Facebook. And I'm really grateful because it presents an opportunity to really keep alive the knowledge that control factors would like us to lose. When there are so many medical doctors in South Africa whose minds are open and they have this wonderful approach where they're like, you've got a flu, you go to the medical doctor, they'll give you, if you need one, an antibiotic, but then they'll say, hey, let's give you some probiotics. And I'm like, oh, angels choirs of song, because these doctors are really with it. The Islamic Medical Association in South Africa, they are with it. They really are, for the most part. And so everybody grows a little something, yes, and it also got me thinking about something else, and that is, we do the show, we have lots of listeners that are not gardeners, and yet they listen to the show and they enjoy the show, and I'm grateful to you for reaching out, because this is not a show that is purely a gardening show. This is not your typical gardening show, because it is not aimed purely at gardeners. And what maketh the gardener, thou might ask? Well, let me explain to you. A gardener is not just somebody who wants to have a farm, who wants to grow all of their own food. Look, it's great if you can. It's great. Container gardening is amazing. We teach you that on this show. This is a teaching and learning show. It is also a fun show because we hear from all of you, your wonderful stories. But guess what? You don't have to grow it all. You can have a pot of lettuce. That makes you a gardener. Hello. You can be growing yourself some pretty roses in your garden, which is just cement and stones. That too maketh thee a gardener, dear listener. So grow something. What really, really breaks my heart is to see some kids growing up with never, ever experiencing the joy of putting a seed in the ground and watching it grow. Even if the thing dies, even if it freks, dit het gefrek, dit is gewas gewees. It is gewas gewees, that is no more there. Right? But man, do you know, to have children seeing what that takes, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. So, Sister Fatima Effendi says, yes, salam. Why is it called green thumbs up? Aha, that is a beautiful question. Why is this show called Green Thumbs Up? Let me tell you. Because if you're a green thumber, then you grow stuff, okay? If you like natural therapies, thou too is a green thumbs upper. You give the thumbs up to nature. It's a nature show. So if you love nature, then green thumbs up to you too. If you are one about greening the planet, protecting us from plastics, you know, finding alternative and sustainable living, you're a green thumbs upper. If you have solar power, you're a green thumbs upper. So yeah, we are on. So this morning, Sibonisu, I have a chistin of the morning. We are back in SA. So we got our drinky winkies back. Have thou gottest in thine hand? Yes, you've got it in your hand. What do you think of it? There's no sugar in there. You know me. No sugar.
There's no sugar.
No sugar, but there's flavor.
There's flavor.
What's the flavor you're getting?
It's similar to some sort of lemon stuff like that.
Similar to lemon. You're not far off. You're not far off. It's nachos. Nachos. These are nachos. For those of you overseas listening to us, the closest thing you're going to find is a tangerine. Right. So what have I got in here? I have nachos or tangerines, and then I've put the juice fruit is overs, and I've put it into some clove tea and pink pepper. So this is to give you a boost of energy and to give you an immune boost as well, and just a refreshing kind of a feeling wonderful. So we've got some more messages coming in. Message from Sister Sarah Bibi Mustafa from Parang CBD area says, And she always sends us such beautiful messages every Sunday, Sibuni. So she says, Assalamu alaikum, dear Rabia Carvalho. Hey, welcome back, missed you. I missed you too. But Buddy Governor did your show very well with beautiful nasheeds. He did do my show. Yes, he stood in for me, I think it was 2 weeks ago. Alhamdulillah, he did a beautiful job. I hope you enjoyed your vacation. Home sweet home, very nice listening to your voice. Pleasant, dearest Rabia. I'm listening to you, Shukr, alhamdulillah, to be back on the radio station. My du'as and salams to you and your family. And your technician, Siboni. So there's your salams.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And the entire Al Ansar family. Always remembered in my du'as, Jazakallah Ameen for reading my message. Beautiful show, green thumbs up. And she says, I don't like green tea. You are not alone. You are not alone. And you know why people don't like green tea for the most part? Because it's bitter. And you know why it's bitter? Because people make it wrong. People take boiling water, throw it on a green tea bag and call it green tea. Now they've killed off most of the good stuff in it. So what you're wanting to do is make sure your tea is lukewarm. So green tea is not a tea that you drink if you like hot drinks. It should be lukewarm. There you go. So today, what do we have on the show for you? Quite late. But we have Dr. Carrie Goodwin, who is going to be joining us. You know the drill. Every month, at the start of the month, we have a monthly roundup of the month coming up, in other words. So it's not a roundup then, is it? It's a forecast. Yes, it is. It's our gardening look forward to what's happening in the month of coming month. So question has come in. Salam Rabia, hope you're well. Do you not make it with boiling water? Green tea. Referring to the green tea. No. I do not make it with boiling water. Yes, I do boil the water, but here is what I do. You put your green tea leaves or tea bag in your cup. Into that, you add cold water, about a third of your cup. Cold water. And then you pour your boiling water in for the balance. The reason is, if you throw boiling water over green tea, you kill off all the antioxidants. You kill off all the good stuff. So don't make your green tea piping hot. All right. No hot tea. So that is a few of my things that I discovered on my travels this time. Number one, very many people grow their own food. A lot of them grow a lot of stuff on balconies in pots. I mean, you got grannies growing lettuce on the windowsill, and then they've got tomatoes in the corner of their lounge. And these are not necessarily rural looking homes, let me tell you. So whether you are rural or whether you're a little bit of a fancy schmancy Nancy, you can still grow your beautiful, pretty little plants. Question, where did I visit? I was in Portugal and I was in Spain. This is where I was. So, today we're going to be talking about gardening, as I said. But whilst we wait for Dr. Carrie Goodwin to join us, I want to talk to you. Yeah, she's on. She is on. Okay, well then let's talk. Let's take her first, and after that we will go ahead and talk about the brain power. So if you're wanting to know about improving your memory, fighting Alzheimer's, Ayurveda versus other, please do stay on the show with us. This is Green Thumbs Up, and you're with me, Rabia Carvalho, and online with us is Dr. Carrie Goodwin. She is our monthly regular.
Hello.
Are you?
Very good, thank you. And yourself?
I'm very good, thank you. Very, very good. It is good to be home.
It must be. I mean, it must have been quite an adventure, but there's no place like home. Doesn't matter where you go in the world. I think it's just a special place. And South Africa itself is, I don't know, it's enlivening and beautiful all at the same time. And I think sometimes we take it for granted and we just see negative. But when you just take that time out to look at the beauty that surrounds us and the plants that surrounds us, even if we don't have green thumbs, if you just walk around your neighborhood, I think you would be in for a really special treat, no matter where you live in South Africa.
Well, thank you for that. It's absolutely true. You know, I have to tell you, I was away for a month, which is a long time to be away. And traveling through the various airports, I think 4 different countries, and coming back here's what I found. People are sometimes so much in their heads that they forget to see beyond their own needs, their own selves. And we complain about that here in our communities, yes, and even within our families. But let me tell you, when you're traveling and you see it for real, the customer service being so kind of, they do what they're asked, but that's it. One thing I noticed was the absence of smiles. And when I landed in South Africa and I got off the plane and I heard all the ladies at the airport and they were talking loud across the passage, and I thought, I am home. And the mamas were talking and they were helping the people in the wheelchairs, and they were laughing with one another, and it was lively, it was bouncy, it was beautiful. And we do take our country for granted. We really, really do. Yeah. Because the vibe is just something else. Absolutely. The vibe is something else. Yeah. So now I was saying earlier, and I don't know if you managed to hear it, that a lot of people grow their own stuff overseas. And this show teaches gardening, it teaches natural living, it teaches sustainable living, it teaches natural healing. And it's entertainment as well, right? So, but I think sometimes when people think of a gardening show, they may think, oh, it's purely gardening. This is a natural living show. We focus on gardening. Every week we have something for gardening. But everybody grows something, and we think we need to grow a whole garden of vegetables. We need to grow everything that we eat. But Carrie, we can grow a few things. We don't have to replace everything we grow, right? What would you grow if you were to pick maybe 3 things that you wanted to grow for your family? What might you grow?
So my favorite for growing, and because they're super easy and I use them a lot, is tomatoes, definitely in the spring and summer. I just think, tomatoes, when you were speaking, I heard a little bit when you were speaking about the children and how to get kids to have green thumbs and how they should start growing. I also think, and you said it doesn't matter if the plants die, it's a little bit of a life lesson. But I think make sure that when you do give children seeds, give them something that the chances of survival is much stronger. So we know, like, tomatoes will grow in a compost heap. They just need sun. And even if you took tomato seeds, which would be great, but otherwise, if you took a tomato that you bought in a shop and you squish those seeds into some soil, they will grow. So I do think tomatoes are essential. And I do love them. And, especially for kids, if you got the little ones, like the little cherry tomatoes, or you get a new one, I think it's little, there's quite a few, little Napoli. There's a little one that's called, it's like a black tomato. So you get lots of different little tomatoes. Then you get the traditional, the Romas and the money makers, and the more heirloom ones. I think what they
which
are
need more space. Which really need more space.
Yeah, but I mean, literally, you can put them in a pot and then put a stake, make a teepee, make it fun for the kids. Like the tomatoes are camping under a tent, and you just make sticks and put them together. So I love tomatoes. I also, my basic, I have it in every garden that I ever have, or I have it in every pot because I don't have a big garden, is I put spinach, because spinach seeds are quite big relative to seed sizes. So the kids can see what they're planting. And again, whether you're eating your spinach seeds as a microgreen, so you eat it when they come up, within the first 2 weeks, and it's a tiny, tiny little leaf that you're going to be eating, or you wait until that Swiss chard is, 30, 40 centimeters big, and then you're just breaking off a leaf. I love the spinach. I do love the lettuce, but I don't plant a lot of it because I don't know why I don't plant it actually. I should. This is a very difficult question because I'm trying to think of my favorite.
I don't know why you can grow lettuce. In 15 days, you could be harvesting lettuce.
And actually, I eat a lot of lettuce. So now I'm thinking that's what I'm going to go into the nursery to get today is lettuce. I love planting carrot seeds. But then I plant the carrot seeds because I love the flowers. It's the same reason why I plant leeks and onions. I plant onions as repellents and leeks as repellents. I don't ever harvest them, but I love the allium flower, and I think it attracts a lot of bees to your garden and it adds character. So I don't actually put it in a veggie garden. I put it in amongst my roses. My carrots I put in amongst the other plants as well that I have. So it's just, they add a softness. So those would be my, like, as I say, carrots, spinach. Oh, and I never actually, again, I don't harvest them, but I always like the idea of potatoes. So I cut up my potato eyes from the potatoes that I've bought in the shop, and then I go and put them in the tires, and then I wait for them to grow through that. But when I did harvest them the first time, it took me 4 months, and then I got tiny little baby potatoes, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is a very slow process. So I just left them in there. Now I think my potatoes are probably the size of the tires because I really never harvest them ever again.
Now you see, now you're the kind of gardener that needs an entire plot of ground, because we ask you what are your favorites to grow at home for starters, and she starts so small, and the next thing you know, the list is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now that is how you know the farmer's heart. The farmer's heart. Now, I'm going to suggest something that goes back to a question that we had last week, because when we finished off the show last week, there was a question that remained. And this is a great one for kiddies to grow, and it makes a lovely little ornamental plant, which you can then choose to plant in the ground or not. But it's about naartjie seeds. You see, somebody sent in, Brother Yusuf sent in a question. He said, Assalamu alaikum, welcome back. I planted naartjie seeds in a pot soil and in ground soil and have been watering. Nothing happened. No plant growing. Now, here's what I've learned about citrus. A little trick that I like to do. I like to root them first. And this is where the kiddies will have a good time. If you've eaten an orange or you've eaten a naartjie, and you're wanting to grow it from that kind of a seed, okay, those pips that come out of that fruit, get the kiddies to play with peeling that seed. I like to peel that seed. There's this white skin. I peel that, and then I throw them into a little plastic bag. Yes, I do. A little plastic bag, a small little jiffy bag. Close it up with not much air in it. It's now sealed, and I shove it in a drawer. And that thing is going to germinate, and it's not going to take very long before that root comes out. And that is how I make sure that the citrus will actually grow, if I am growing citrus from scratch. Now, a lot of the citrus that we buy from nurseries, and Dr. Carey will be able to vouch for this, have been grafted. And we spoke about this before when we spoke about fruit trees, right? They graft them. But have you tried growing it like that, Carey?
I've never grown a citrus from seed. Actually, the closest thing I got to growing, apart from the veggies I spoke about now, was the avo from seed. And then it gets a little bit too big, and then you're like, I don't have space for this. What am I going to do now? And then I donated it to a charity so that they could have avos. But I do like it. I'm going to try it with the kids to see what they can.
Yes.
Now, do you have to put a bit of moisture in the packet? Or will it automatically create its own?
It's got its own moisture. It's got its own moisture. I haven't had to put any moisture in there. You can wrap it in cotton wool if you want to, but you really don't have to. I've honestly found that this is how I came across it. This is what happened. I was eating, and this is full disclosure here. I was eating an orange in my office one day, many years ago. And I thought, this is such a nice orange. I'm going to keep the seeds. And I took the seeds, and I was on a phone call, and I started to peel it quite by accident. Some were peeled and some were not. And then I had to go. So I threw them in a little jiffy packet, and I shoved them in the drawer, and I left the office. I completely forgot about the seeds. And weeks went by. When I pulled the bag out, they were full of roots. And I thought, oh wow, I'm onto something. So this brother Yusuf that has planted naartjies in pot soil, did you peel the seeds? Because what happens, I then discovered when this had happened, I went to look at why would that have germinated in a dark drawer? Surely they need sunlight. Surely they need nutrition. Surely they need oxygen, for heaven's sakes, and water, as you've said, Carrie. But they germinated extremely well. And I think they release that humidity, and because it's dark in there, they releasing and it just grows. I mean, the seed contains everything needed for the root to grow anyway. But if you're struggling with those naartjie seeds or those naartjie seeds, peel them and then put them in the ground. The other thing you must consider is that some of the naartjies that we buy in the stores actually come from already genetically altered fruits where the seeds do not bear. And that is terrible that is what's happening. It's happening a lot in America. It's happening a lot in Europe. And now we're starting to see it in South Africa. Seeds from fruits that just do not bear fruit. Carrie, I don't know if you've heard about that. There's lots of licensing going on even in plants.
No, we definitely have licensing in plants, but with the fruits as well, I think it's because people want exclusives. So if it's, if a lot of breeding has gone into certain things, like maybe if we use the Tangelo as an example, then I think they almost don't want people to be able to breed it at home initially. So one, it's going to have way fewer seeds in it because they, if I want to say so much resources has gone in to get it to breed. It hasn't been that it was a bee that pollinated them and you got this cross between the two, a tangerine and a Mineola or whatever a Tangelo is. I'm just using this as an example. And then because there's fewer seeds, as you say, often they are sterile. So normally when you're buying, but if you're buying from an organic market or somewhere where you buy organic fruit, then that would have the seeds in it. And maybe there wouldn't be the genetically modified varieties that have exclusivity in certain stores, because that's what the stores are paying for, is the plant breeders' rights in a way. But they do, all of those rights also have a lifespan. So I think it's normally 10 years. And then after 10 years, then it's on a free market again. And you're able to breed them and grow them as you want. But it is strange for me. Is also how people don't like pips or don't like the seeds in their fruit. And then you're thinking, but do they not realize that those are the seeds that you need to plant to get new fruits? So you'll buy a watermelon and it will be like a seedless watermelon. And I'm thinking, what is the point of a seedless watermelon? It might taste nicer. I can't even think that it would taste nicer. But we've lost with our earth and how life processes actually happen. And that goes back to teaching your children from a very young age, where plants come from, where food comes from, why it's so important to grow something.
Fruit has been bred out tremendously. If we go back to the origins of the banana was a very seedy fruit. Apples were very seedy fruits. We just spoke about a Tangelo, and I had to go and visit my good friend Google to find out what in the nonsense is a Tangelo. Let me tell you, we all know Mineolas here in South Africa. It looks like an orange, and it's got that little neck, right? That's a Mineola. It turns out a Mineola is a specific type of a Tangelo, whereas a Tangelo is a citrus fruit that results from crossing, Google says, a tangerine with a grapefruit or a pomelo. Now we know what a Tangelo is.
Thank you for enlightening us. But I think it's those crosses that didn't happen by bees. And so they, have been done by humans. And I quite like the Tangelo juice. I have to admit, I haven't tasted the fruit, but I love the juice. So, but can I ask a question too? And it was to do with one of your other questions of something that I love putting in my garden, but I don't harvest it, is fennel. Because I love mixing it in with my roses, because I think the contrast of the bronze fennel leaf blowing in in a rose garden, and then you have that with the dark green leaf of your roses, and then your rose looking beautiful on top. I think it's phenomenal. But then I'm thinking, I know people use fennel tea sometimes, but I pretend that it's licorice. So when I'm walking in the nursery, I'll go and break off a stem and eat it, and I'm thinking I'm eating sweets. I'm eating licorice. It's healthy. Yes. But I was just wondering, why would people plant fennel in their vegetable garden or in their garden as an edible purpose and not for ornamental purposes like I use it?
Okay, so we're going to get back to that question, but we have to take an ad break quickly. So, Carrie, you're going to hold on to your questions about fennel. We're going to talk a little bit about fennels. It is one of my favorite herbs. It's not one I grow in the vegetable garden because vegetables, companion gardening wise, do not like fennel apart from roses. So let's take that ad break and let's get right back. And don't go away. You're coming back.
WhatsApp us now on 060 904 1056.
Radio Al-Ansar, 24/7, 365.
Come get our butcher's best fillets at Checkers Foods Gawi Park. Enjoy certified halal butchery products like leg of lamb for just $169.99 per kg, mutton dania sausages for just $109.99 per kilo, Dorsland Wurst just $89.99 per kg, and beef potjiekos for just $99.99 per kilo. Deals valid until Sunday, October 5th. Only at Checkers Foods Gawi Park. Now certified by the NIHT, the National Independent Halal Trust, across our butchery bakery, and deli.
Ladies, are you concerned about your health and well-being? Then the Al-Ansar Cancer Support Group's annual Cancer Awareness and Chai Day is for you. Dynamic speakers, an awesome tea garden, lucky draws, free blood pressure and sugar checks, free entry. Join us on Saturday the 25th of October at the Al-Ansar Hall, 189 West Road, Overport, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Let's unite to fight cancer's might.
Sunday Lounge. The Sunday Lounge. With Carvalho, 10 to 12. Latest machine. Celebrity artist features. News from the machine world. Top 10 countdown. Sunday Lounge.
Get ready, Durban. The TBR Family 5-kilometer fun run and walk is happening. 11 October at the Blue Lagoon Lawns, kicking off at 7 a.m. Join us for a day packed with excitement, a scavenger hunt, kite building, a burger eating showdown, and prizes galore. Enjoy food trucks, family games, and a live 6-hour broadcast from Radio Al-Ansar. Don't forget, bring a new toy to brighten a child's day in hospital. Powered by the Cellular City Group of Vodacom stores.
Get ready to elevate your fitness game at First Fitness in Durban's Berea. With a spacious free weight area, award-winning equipment, and exclusive ladies-only parking and training level, we've got everything you need to crush your goals. Hit the ground running on our outdoor track or unleash your inner warrior in our MMA and boxing dungeon. Plus, enjoy high security and ample parking. And don't forget to refuel at our halal coffee and health restaurant for the best in coffees, smoothies, and healthy eats. Join us today and redefine your fitness journey. First Fitness, dare to be extraordinary.
Audio stream across the world on radioalansar.co.za.
Get ready for Green Thumbs Up, the gardening and natural living show you didn't know you needed. I'm your host and life coach, Rabia Carvalho, and we're talking birds, bees, butterflies, and blooms, growing food in garden rooms, home-based holistic healing, and much more. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or nature lover, plant assassin, or permaculture professional, we got you. We got you. Let us bring you the ideas, the facts, support, and inspiration to go green wherever you are. Sundays 9 to 10 a.m. only on Radio Al-Ansar. Hey, we are back with Green Thumbs Up, and there was a lady that messaged us, Sister Mumin, and she says, Assalamu alaikum, welcome terug. Good to have you back. I got to ask you, what is that you say in your introductions? Whether you're a seasoned gardener or, I can't remember. What was that? Whether you're a seasoned gardener or, I didn't even know. We recorded that.
Is one of them.
I'll play it again for you, and then you can find out. But a seasoned gardener or you're just starting out. I think the gist of it is whether you're a seasoned gardener or you're just starting out, we got you. We got you, whether you wanting to just start learning or otherwise. Your children and you are having fun guessing what it is. I tell you what, before we leave the show, at the end of the show, Sibonisi, will you play the sting again at the end of the show, just for Sister Mumin? I will try to listen out for it as well. So, sorry, don't even know my own sting.
One of the words one of the words you use in your sting is the plant assassin, which I also think is
there we go.
Is a cool one. I think that there's a lot of different options that you use, but that is one of my favorites when I listen.
Yes, whether you're a seasoned gardener or a plant assassin. Yes, that is it. Hey, Dr. Carrie to the rescue. Now, another message came in. Assalamu alaikum. Just a query. Does the phase of the moon and the new moon have any effect on planting veggies and fruit? Jazakallah khair. Absolutely, it does. And there is this whole thing which I've spoken about in the past about moon gardening. And I will speak about it perhaps again next week just so that we can get to it. But essentially, what you're wanting to do is when the moon is growing, you're wanting to plant plants that bear fruit above the soil. I think that's what it is. And when it is waning, when it is growing smaller, then you're wanting to plant root vegetables. And then, so that's the basis in terms of when you're planting your veggies. Okay. Now, going back to fennel, which we left off. Fennel is our Durbanite brothers and sisters here will know it as sumph. I think it is sumph. So fennel seeds are sumph, and you buy them and you can make food with them and whatever. They do taste like licorice. Now, why would people grow them as a vegetable? Because the bulb of the fennel is really nice in fish dishes. So if you're wanting to add that little bit of a fennel-y taste to fish dishes or even some of the wilder game, fennel is the thing that you can use. But if you're wanting to just have the leaves, you can chew on them for fresh breath. Carrie, you were talking about chewing on them like licorice sticks. Yes. They're like sweeties. Absolutely. And you can actually make fennel candy, which is a wonderful thing to make as well. And your fennel is a great one for bloating and for gas and even for helping to balance out hormones. So that's fennel. Fennel is a great one if you've got high cholesterol as well. So that's fennel.
Thank you very much. I feel much more enlightened now. I don't only use it as an ornamental plant to make my roses look pretty.
Well, because it is great for roses. Fennel and garlic planted around roses really, really makes a difference.
Yeah. I think that's what, when you say what we're going to talk about this month, and I know we always run out of time, but the one thing I did want to just mention is to really look for plants that have blooms, because we want to promote bees. We want to promote, everything looks like it's flowering magnificently at the moment. I've never seen such beautiful yesterday, today, and tomorrows. The roses have come up absolutely gorgeous and quite early in the season. Even our bougainvilleas are looking fantastic. So try and look for plants that complement your garden or what you're doing, but that encourage bees to come into your garden. And then, like you were saying, maybe use some of the natural plants or other plants as companions instead of pesticides. So maybe use your fennel with your roses and your garlic or tulbachia, wild garlic, as a repellent instead of trying to spray something for your roses. And I think that's the way you're going to try and, live a very healthy, natural, sustainable life, by using plants as companions. So yeah, I just go and enjoy all the flowers everywhere.
Yes, that is our message for the month of October. Go and enjoy the flowers everywhere. You can, of course, start to plan, but it's a little bit early for planning. We'll deal with that in November. Dr. Carrie, as you said, time runs out, and I cannot believe she has run.
No, you see, and I can't wait to carry on listening to you about all the brain stuff that we're going to have to learn.
Yeah, this is what we're going to talk about now, because I need to make time for this, because this is so wonderful that I'm going to say to you, and we're going to see you again next month. We're going to talk to you next month, and I hope you'll be in Durban sometime so you can actually come into studio and all the listeners can get to meet you in person.
That would be amazing. We'll plan for that.
Inshallah, we say. So thank you so much, and thank you for being on the show once again. That was Dr. Carrie Goodwin. She is our plant and horticulture specialist, and as you can hear, it's very difficult to calm a full-fledged, farm-minded, plant-growing, just plant-mad person, because we start on grow a few tomatoes on your balcony, and the next thing you know, you've got a plot, because your pots are hanging off the ceiling and you're growing everything from tomatoes to cabbage to lettuce to cucumbers. Cucumbers make a lovely, lovely, lovely trellis, although it dies back as well. But nonetheless, I wanted to talk to you today about a plant in our Nature's Apothecary segment, because I have often spoken about memory and the importance of healing memory and retaining memory and fighting dementia and fighting Alzheimer's and preventing senility. As we age, our brain slows down, and so we need to keep our brains irrigated. And I've spoken to you about berberine in the past for the brain. And I've spoken to you about lion's mane, and I've spoken to you about shilajit. So there's 3 of them that you can look at already. These great, 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 great plants that help you with your memory, that help to preserve our memory and enhance our memory. And if your student is wanting to study for longer or help with memory retention, rosemary essential oil. It's the smell of rosemary literally opens up the brain's ability, in layman's terms, to retain information and keeps you alert and alive and awake. So a few drops of rosemary oil in a little piece of cotton wool on a bowl next to your studying child is going to help them to concentrate. But did you know that lion's mane, besides healing, helping to boost your memory and all of these good things, is also an anti-anxiety thing. It's a little bit of a happy pill. What is lion's mane? Lion's mane is a medicinal mushroom. So when I say happy pill, I do not mean psychoactive. It's not going to give you the willies. It's not. It's just, you can literally eat it like a steak. So you can grow it, you can eat it like a steak. That's going to have a super effect, or you can buy it online. But you're wanting to buy a lion's mane that contains the fruiting body of the medicinal mushroom. It's great for different kinds of cancer. It has wonderful, wonderful properties. But for the brain memory, if you're trying to reduce ADHD, maybe you don't know if you have ADHD or not. You're feeling very stressed. You find yourself helter-skelter, and you don't know, do I have ADHD? I wonder, is it even a thing? I wonder if you're trying to, you don't know if there's dementia, you don't know if there's Alzheimer's, you know that there's memory recall issues, you know that the person is just struggling to remember the name of a movie. Or you're wanting to protect your neurons later on. Maybe you're in your 30s, okay? And you want something that's also going to reduce your anxiety, right? And ideally, something that calms your actual brain, not just your body. Then we head over to Ayurveda. And there is a little plant, which is a water hyssop. This water's hyssop is nature's Adderall. So Adderall is what they used, for ADHD. And for many herbs, there are times when you need to use them for short periods of time. So parsley, you do not use parsley for longer than 7 days. Okay. Lion's mane, you can use it for 6 months. You can use it for a year. You can use it for 2 years before you take a break. So different plants have a different effect on our body. And water hyssop, or its Ayurvedic name, is Bacopa monnieri, botanical name. Bacopa monnieri, Bacopa, also known in India as Brahmi, right? That it's a perennial creeping herb, first of all, so you could grow it, but it's native more really to the wetlands in the Indian continent. So also in Southeast Asia, you'll also find it there. And it's earned the nickname water hyssop because that's what it is, okay? In Sanskrit, it's also called Jala Brahmi, which means water Brahmi. Jala! I think Jala is water, because if Brahmi is hyssop, then Jala Brahmi. I don't know. You ladies and gents, listeners, you can let me know. So it is a cornerstone of Ayurveda, and it is classified as Medhya Rasayana. I hope I have pronounced that correctly for you. It is a rejuvenating herb. So it's an adaptogen. If you struggle with stress, just as lion's mane will help you to reduce that stress, this Bacopa you can also help take for stress as a cognitive enhancer just generally, and for memory. It improves memory recall. And folks, there's actually been clinical studies on this. So talk to your doctors and bring the nature in with the pharma. Bring it together. It's, as I say, it's a neuroprotective. So it's one of the reasons why it is used so often in age-related cognitive issues. This is not one that you take for 15 days. There's a comment here from Albert, don't use a herb for longer than 15 days, then stop for 15 days. Not necessarily. It depends on the plant. All plants are not made equal, and it depends on the condition as well. So if, for instance, you are someone recovering from a stroke and you're taking lion's mane to help you to recover from a stroke, and it really, really does. I've seen a lady go from being bedridden, not being able to walk or talk, to being able to talk and being partially mobile, and she is still on lion's mane. And I recommended to her that we consider Bacopa, moving on to Bacopa. So that is another one that you can look into. Bacopa. How would you take it? Well, normally in a capsule format. This isn't one that you take as a tea. You don't take this one as a tea. Speaking of tea, we started off the show, then we got into Dr. Carey, and we forgot all about our tisane. Oh my goodness. What is in here? I said we have pink. Oh, I did say pink peppercorn, cloves,
Nachi.
You know, every time I say nachi, I'm reminded of that advert from the 80s for that fake juice.
Oh, yeah.
Nachi, lychee, pineapple. A couple of messages that have come in from Sister Jamila. Salams, Rabia, Marahabani, meaning water. Burn or kindle, jealous, dew, raindrop, frost, grand, splendid, majestic. How about that? Jala is a feminine name with a variety of origins and meanings for baby to enjoy. It can come from the Arabic name Ijlal, meaning grand, splendid, or majestic, and is sure to elevate baby's spirit. Oh, well, there you go. Who knew Jala can actually, be included in kiddies' names? Well, people's names, because kiddies grow up. Sister Shaida Bibi Khan says, where can we get these remedies for brain health? So lion's mane and so rosemary you can get anywhere. You can grow rosemary. You can even buy the rosemary that you would put in your food. You can even use that and make yourself a cup of tea. A teaspoon of dry rosemary into a cup of boiling water. Let it stand for 10 minutes, strain it, and you boost your brain power. It builds your immune system. It's antiviral, antibacterial, all of those anti-bad stuffs together. Rosemary essential oil is what you'd put onto cotton wool for a child that is studying, or an adult that is studying again, because why not? Life is short. Enjoy it. And then, of course, your lion's mane you would need to purchase online. I do have a few links of the ones that I prefer personally. Those are on my social media pages. If you want to find me, Lifecoach Rabia, you can find them. It just links to various types. There's no brand that I'm selling, so it's not a selling thing at all. It's to give you an idea of what to look out for. Make sure that it's a fruiting body. Make sure that you're not buying lion's mane that is mycelium only. The mycelium is the underground root structure, and it's not really advised for if you're trying to work on memory. If you're using lion's mane for anxiety, then yeah, sure, you can use the mycelium based one. But if you're wanting it for memory and brain power, then yeah, get the fruiting body lion's mane. Normally 2,500 milligrams is the dosage that these capsules come in, whichever brand they are, and you'll find that you'll take one in the morning. If that is enough for you, then one in the morning. Otherwise, one in the morning, one in the evening. It's also going to help you to sleep. So, hey, why not? Then you've got this Bacopa or Brahma. Now, that you're going to need to either get from an Ayurvedic specialist near you, or you can get it online. All you do is you Googla, boobula. You Google Bacopa, Bacopa. Bacopa. Yep. So a couple of messages that came in. Albert says, I use stinging nettle for prostate. Yes, stinging nettle for prostate is amazing, as is yarrow. You could also use yarrow. I use it for 15 days and stop for 15 days. Now, that is a good idea, and I'll tell you why. Stinging nettle can actually really back up into the liver. Same as parsley can affect the liver. Stinging nettle is kidney protective, is liver protective, but if you're taking it all the time, then you're going to need to take a break. So I would suggest, in fact, if you're on stinging nettle all the time for prostate, rather opt for something like horny goat's weed, for instance, and yarrow. Those are great ones. Where can we get these remedies? I think I've answered that question. We're almost done with the show. Growing avo seeds in water. How do I grow them? I don't know if I'm doing it right. Don't put it in the water. Suspend it over the water in a glass. Put some toothpicks. Hold it up. Yarrow, excellent for lungs, is another comment. Absolutely, folks. It's been a pleasure being back with you. We're nearly at the top of the hour, 10 o'clock.